President Bashar al-Assad issues decree number 133 of 2014 on forming the elections higher judicial committee. Al-Laham says the People's Assembly has been notified by the Higher Constitutional Court of a nomination application presented by Hassan al-Nouri for the post of President of the Republic. A religious mass is held at St. Sarkis Church for the Armenian Orthodox denomination in Damascus, commemorating the 99th anniversary of the Ottoman massacres against the Armenians. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Irado Krikorian from the News Center in Damascus. President Bashar al-Assad issued Decree 133 of 2014 on forming the elections higher judicial committee comprising a number of basic and substitute judges. People's Assembly Speaker Muhammad Jihad al-Laham has been notified by the Higher Constitutional Court that Mr. Hassan al-Nouri has presented a nomination application for the post of President of the Republic, thus becoming the second candidate after Maher Abdul Hafid Hajjar for this post. The second candidate to the post of President of the Republic, Dr. Hassan al-Nouri, was born in Damascus in 1960. He was Minister of State for Administrative Development and People's Assembly Affairs between 2002 and 2002. Syria's Syria's permanent representative to the UN, Dr. Bashar al-Jaafari, has said the main objective of the recent allegations about the use of the chlorine gas by the Syrian Arab army is to disrupt the successful arrangements taken for the upcoming presidential elections in Syria. Al-Jaafari said the fact that 90% of the chemical materials have been moved outside Syria is a clear sign of the Syrian government's commitment to meet the final ultimatum set for this purpose. In a press conference held in New York yesterday, following the briefing presented by Sigrid Kaag, the Special Coordinator of the United Nations and the Chemical Weapons Prohibition Organization's joint mission, Al-Jaafari said Syria enjoys full membership of the UN and the OPCW and has honored the commitments signed between the Syrian government and the organization. Al-Jaafari expressed regret over the U.S. decision to supply the armed groups in Syria with anti-armor and anti-aircraft weapons. He said the U.S. was one of the two states which called for the Geneva talks and should therefore respect its commitments towards Russia, the UN, and the Syrian government. It should shoulder its responsibility, he added, in facilitating the efforts to reach a political settlement to the crisis in Syria through national dialogue among the Syrians. Nigeria's representative, the current chairwoman of the present UN Security Council session, referred to the tangible progress achieved in transferring the chemical weapons outside Syria, an indication, she added, that Syria was very close to complete the process of getting rid of its chemical stockpiles successfully. A Holy Mass was held today at St. Sarkis Church for Armenian Orthodox of Damascus Parish to mark the 99th anniversary of the Armenian Genocide at the hands of Ottomans in 1915. The Mass was led by Archbishop Armash Nalbandian of the Armenian Orthodox Church. The Archbishop stressed that the Syrian Arab people have been very hospitable towards the Armenian community when the Ottomans committed their massacres against the Armenian people. He called on the world community to acknowledge these ugly crimes and hold the new Ottomans responsible for what their ancestors had done. He concluded by saying that history will never forget the crimes committed by the Ottoman Empire against thousands of Armenian innocent civilians. Welcome back. 5 civilians, including 2 children, were injured as a mortar shell was fired by terrorists on al-Aqayba neighborhood near al-Amara area in Damascus. The shell landed on a garage in the neighborhood, wounding 5 civilians, including 2 children, and causing material damage to a number of cars. Other 2 shells landed in al-Qazzazin and al-Salihiyya neighborhoods, causing material damages with no casualties. In Damascus countryside, units of the Syrian Arab army clashed with terrorist groups in al-Mleha town and the surrounding farms and Tamiko company, killing and wounding dozens of terrorists. Syrian Arab army continued to make progress inside the town of al-Mleha as army units broke into what is considered the third defense line of the armed terrorist groups. The terrorists set up barricades and blocked roads to prevent Syrian Arab army units from making any progress. A military source said that military action will continue until the terrorists are fully defeated. In Lattakia countryside, units of the Syrian Arab army continued to make progress in the city of Kasab, taking control of several hills overlooking the town. Fierce clashes erupted between the Syrian Arab army and terrorist armed men west of Kasab as the army advanced towards the areas surrounding al-Nabain and al-Samra. The army destroyed a missile launching base and killed dozens of terrorists, including Saudis, Afghans, and Chechens. An army source confirmed that the Syrian Arab army has full control of Sildrine mountain and the supply routes leading to the area. Syrian Arab army units have targeted terrorist gatherings in Daraa and its suburbs, eliminating a large number of them, wounding others, and destroying their criminal tools. Several armed men were killed or wounded in Al-Lajat and northwest of Atman in Daraa countryside and south of Khazan Abazid, downtown Daraa. An army unit also foiled an attempt by terrorist groups to infiltrate from the national forest in Tsil in the direction of Nawa, killing and wounding a large number of them. The Syrian Arab army targeted and eliminated terrorists in As-Saqiya and northwest of Samlin in Daraa countryside. Another army unit demolished a hideout used by armed men in Al-Nuaime and destroyed a machine gun-equipped vehicle. Over to Iraq, where 8 Iraqis were killed, including 3 policemen and 20 others injured following a car explosion at a checkpoint in the city of Babil. An Iraqi police source said that the car exploded near a Nil area south of Baghdad, killing 8 people. Earlier, 13 people were killed during several attacks. One of them targeted the convoy of Education Minister. Finally, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov renewed his criticism of the role played by the US and EU in the Ukraine by trying to instigate a so-called colorful revolution to change the political system. Lavrov added that the US is using the Ukraine as a toy on its geopolitical policy, pointing out that the expansion of NATO eastward may have negative impact on the development of events in the Ukraine. With this, we end our news for today. Thank you for watching. For more details about Syria and the region and to view this bulletin again, you can always visit our website in English, syriaonline.sy. Now to latest business and market news with Karun Kürkcan, but after a short break.